Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Shauna Rorman, and I wanted to introduce myself at the beginning of the term and welcome you all to SOA 215, the Sociology of Health, Illness, and Healthcare. I don't believe that I know anyone in the class this term, which is a little strange for me because I've been teaching at North Central in some capacity or another since 2014. I was full-time in the sociology department from 2014 to 2017 and then have been teaching this class online since then. And in the meantime, I've moved back closer to my family in Cleveland, Ohio. So I'm really excited to be teaching this class again. I am trained in medical sociology. I have a PhD in sociology from Indiana University, and it's something I've been studying for a little over 10 years. So I'm very excited to keep teaching the class. I hope it's something that is interesting to you as well. I know many of you are probably not sociology majors, and you might be majoring in health sciences or something related, or maybe something totally different and you just want to take this class. So wherever you're coming from, you probably have some kind of interest in health, and I hope that showing you the sociological perspective on health and illness will sort of broaden your horizons on the topic and be something that's really interesting to you. My interests are started primarily as wanting to understand how inequality gets literally into the body to manifest different health outcomes for different kinds of people depending on where they fit in the social hierarchy. And from there, and through teaching this class, I've gotten to really appreciate all of the different topics that fall under medical sociology. So I'm very excited to be teaching this again, and I am looking forward to getting to know all of you as much as we can through the discussion board. Just a little bit about myself currently. As I said, I live in Cleveland. I work for the Cuyahoga County Office of Early Childhood, where I evaluate the programs that we fund for little children. So my goal there is to make sure that the programs that we are funding with taxpayer dollars are doing great things for kids who need it the most to help them get a healthy start and to live the best life they can. So this is combining my background in statistics as well as my background in studying inequality in health and well-being. So with that being said, I want to also walk through the syllabus a bit with you and introduce you to the Blackboard page just as a brief overview of the class. If you have any questions, please always feel free to email me with anything that comes up. I'm happy to work with all of you. I know that online might be a little bit tough for some people if it's something you've never done before. I think it's easier to take online classes during the school year when you're also taking other classes. It helps keep you on track as opposed to taking them in the summer. So hopefully this will be a breeze and just be something that's extra flexible for your schedule, and I'm hoping that you all enjoy it. So let's go ahead and get to business.
All right, so let's take a look at the syllabus. The best way to reach me will be through email. I have North Central email on my phone, and so I will be able to see it, the 1,000 times a day that I do check my phone. And I try my best to get back to you as soon as I can, but certainly within 24 hours during the week. I'll get back to you. I'm usually much quicker than that. So that's the best way to reach me. And office hours are going to be virtual, so they'll be through Blackboard, and I'll show you how that works in a little bit. But they'll be every Wednesday evening from 7 to 8, and then if that doesn't work for you, we'll set up another time where we can talk. And so office hours are basically a drop-in. You can I'll show you how it works again, but you can just stop by if you have questions, quote unquote, stop by. I'll basically just be available during that time period to answer any questions. And so let's go ahead and get into the syllabus. So I really like this quote: when a flower doesn't bloom, you fix the environment in which it grows, not the flower, because I think it really illustrates the whole point of this course, which is to think about, when we think about health, let's try to, the sociological perspective asks us to move away from the individual and to think about the environment that the individual lives in and how we might be able to fix the environment in a way that will help improve the health of the individual. Um, so that's sort of the orienting point for me of this course. I will let you read the course description and the outcomes. These are things that I think that you should be able to do once the course is over based on the kinds of things that you'll be doing in the class. What's important to know is that the course is organized into weekly modules, and those modules will include PowerPoint presentations. So I'll record myself giving the PowerPoint, but then I'll also provide the PDF of the PowerPoint for you as well for you to look through on your own. Readings, links to videos, often podcasts, other kinds of resources, all of that stuff will be included on Blackboard. So the modules will become available first thing Sunday morning, and then they will close at 5 p.m. on Saturday every week. What's required for this course is the textbook, which is called The Sociology of Health, Illness, and Healthcare, A Critical Approach. The author is Rose Weitz. I'm asking you to buy the 7th edition. Now, I realize that there is an 8th edition available, but I haven't made that move yet, and I'm not asking you to, and hopefully that means the book is a little bit cheaper. So I have posted the book through North Central's new online textbook ordering deal, but here are the ISBN numbers for you in case you want to order it somewhere else. Everything else that you need will be posted on Blackboard. Also required, which I'm sure you know because it's an online class, you're going to need a computer with a reliable internet connection. You're going to need software that allows you to view PowerPoint files, PDFs, videos, and you're also going to need some kind of word processing software. So Microsoft Word, Apple Pages, a text editor, something like that. If you don't have access to any of those things on your personal computer, all of that is available for you on campus. If you need any assistance, just shoot me an email and I'll see what we can do to help you out. Okay, so here are the assignments for this term. The first thing that I want you to do is to do this little welcome activity on what's called Padlet. Padlet is essentially a wall where people can post information, so short bios, reactions to readings, photos, etc. It's basically kind of like a social media wall. You're already familiar with it. So by the end of this first week, which would be 5 p.m. on Saturday, January 5th, I want you to do a short post introducing yourself. I have already started with my post, and so you'll see in the instructions what I want you to say about yourself, and just this way we can all get to know each other, and I like to be able to put a face with names since I'm not seeing you all in class. And so there's a link to the Padlet Wall in the left side menu of the Blackboard page. This post is worth 15 points of your grade. The second thing you're going to do, and this is like a lot of the bulk of what you're going to be doing in this class, is participating in the class discussion forum. So every week you are going to write about 100 to 200 words of a post answering one of the questions that I've posted for you, and you'll do this by midnight on Tuesday of every week. Now, the first week of the term is going to be a little bit different because it's a shorter week. So your first post for this first week will be due on Thursday instead of on Tuesday. But for the remaining weeks, by midnight on Tuesday, you're required to post your first post answering one of the questions that I've put up. And then by the end of the week, 5 p.m. on Saturday, you will respond to at least 2 other students' original posts. Now, the rule here is that you can't respond to anybody else's posts before Wednesday. This is so that everybody can get a chance to do their post without going in and answering anybody else's. I want to make sure everybody has the chance to post their stuff by the end of the day Tuesday, and then from Wednesday to Saturday is when the discussion will take place. So keep in mind that this minimum of 2 posts is a minimum. So the discussion board is the main way that you're going to talk to each other and talk to me. I'm expecting more than minimum effort. Okay, so your responses to other people's posts should be thoughtful, they should be connected to the material that you're reading, and they should try to move the conversation forward. You should also make sure you're talking with people who are responding to your posts. And so typically what I find is that students who participate consistently across the week rather than doing everything on one day, and who are going above the minimum expectations, who are being thoughtful, those are the people who tend to get high grades on the discussion board. You'll see on the last page of the syllabus, there's a full rubric, and you can read that. Make sure you read that and let me know if you have any questions. And so I do pop into the discussion posts. I do my best to participate as much as I can. But because of the size of the class, it's really impossible for me to respond to all 30 students every week. And so my goal is to respond to at least a third of the class every week, which means that I should be hopping onto one of your posts about 3 or 4 times during the term. So that's the discussion board. Then you'll have weekly quizzes. So every week there will be a quiz on the readings, and you have to complete it, and it'll be posted on Blackboard. The quiz will go up at midnight on Tuesday. So that gives you from Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday to read the materials and view the lectures. And then at the end of the day, Tuesday, the quiz gets posted, and you have until 5 p.m. on Saturday to finish the quiz. So you will be required to complete 8 quizzes throughout the term. So there's 10 modules for 10 weeks. You only have to do quizzes for 8 of those, and you can choose whichever quizzes you want to take. But you can also decide to take 9 quizzes, and I'll drop the lowest 2 grades. One would be the one you didn't take, and then whatever the lowest of the 9 is. Or you can decide to take all 10 quizzes, and I'll just drop the 2 lowest grades. So you do have some flexibility there. I recognize that some weeks are easier than others, and some weeks you just have too much going on. So this allows you a little bit of flexibility there. And then as far as an exam, there will be one take-home final. It will cover mostly the second half of the course. I'm not going to make you any promises there, but it will emphasize material from the second half of the course, because you will have a group project that will focus on material from the first half of the course, and I'll get to that in a second. So you'll have 3 days to complete the exam. What I'll do is post the exam questions and instructions first thing Sunday, March 10th, which is the beginning of finals week. And then your exam will be due at midnight, Tuesday, March 12th, and that's during finals week. So you'll have all day Sunday, all day Monday, and all day Tuesday to complete this final written exam. You'll type these exams up, and then you'll turn them in on Blackboard as a Word file or a Pages file or a PDF file. I want to emphasize that you need to put these dates on your calendar now, because I will not give extensions or make up exams. And then the last thing that you're required to do is the group project. And so you and 2 other students are going to work on a project in the first 6 weeks of the course. And the final product will end up being what's called a Pecha presentation. So there's a link here for you to follow, and I'm going to put more information up on Blackboard. But a Pecha presentation is a presentation that has only 20 slides, 1 image per slide, and it's timed at 20 seconds per slide. So you're using 1 image to illustrate the point for whatever you're trying to say in that slide, and you have 20 seconds to get the point across for that particular slide. So it's a little stressful, but the end product ends up being only a 6-minute and 40-second presentation. And so I've done this in the past, and students seem to really like it, so I'm excited to see what you guys come up with. So what you'll do is I've assigned your groups for you. There's a Google Doc that I will post a link to on Blackboard that has all of the group assignments. And so by the end of week 1, you will need to talk with your group and make a decision about the topic that you're choosing for your project. Something health related. It can be a particular disease that you want to study, like obesity or hypertension or depression, some kind of disorder or disease that's related to health that you want to study, or you can study a particular kind of health issue like lead exposure, or the quality of housing might be one topic that you want to study, or maybe you want to study like food insecurity, something broader that's not related to a specific disorder, but that still has health implications for the population. So you'll need to let me know what your topic is by the end of week 1. And then at the end of week 2, your team will submit to me a statement explaining the sociological importance of your topic. So I will put instructions on Blackboard for exactly what I'm expecting. This is fairly brief, 1, maybe 2 pages at the maximum, but something that just lets me know that you've thought about this, that you can start thinking about it sociologically. At the end of week 4, each group member will turn in annotated bibliographies for 3 sources. So this part of the project is every person getting their own grade for their own work. You'll use those annotated bibliographies then. You'll combine all of your sources together to work on the presentation itself, which will be due by midnight, Sunday, February 10th, which is the end of week 6. So the grade breakdown is posted here. There's a total of 560 points in the course. You can see how everything breaks down, and then you can see how the grading scale breaks down as well. Quickly with course policies, obviously there's no attendance taken because this course takes place entirely online, but it is important that you keep up with the work. So just make sure that in any group work that you're doing, you're in communication with the people in your group, that you are attending any meetings that you guys have scheduled. Just don't lose sight of this class. It can be easy, I think, to lose sight of the online class when the rest of your classwork is taking place in person. So just make sure that you are checking in, and that relates to participation as well. I'm not asking you to spend every day hours and hours working on course material, but you should be checking in every single day, even if it's just checking your email to see if I've sent anything out, making sure you log into Blackboard really quick to see that there are any updates, or checking in on the discussion board. So I'm not asking for hours, but just a quick check-in every day will help with the flow of the course. I will do the same thing. I will be checking into Blackboard every day. I'll be checking my email every day. I want to make sure that if you're trying to communicate with me, that line of communication is open, and that I can make sure that I'm sort of keeping an eye on everything that's happening in the class. Like I said, I will check email every day, and I will respond to your messages within 24 hours during the week. On the weekend, it probably won't be as quick, and I'm sure you understand. If you have any questions that you think other people in the class might have, I'm encouraging you to post those questions on the Blackboard discussion board, and I'll show you where there's room for that, because I want you all to feel like if you have a question, you can put it out there and other students can answer your questions if they have the answer. If not, I will be sure to post an answer on the Blackboard thread so that everybody can see it. If you have questions of a more private nature, please feel free to send me an email. This says here I don't have scheduled office hours, but obviously that's not true because you can see at the top of the syllabus that I do. So I'll show you where the online meetings will take place for office hours. If you have, if you require special assistance for classes or exams, please let me know as soon as possible. And I encourage you to talk to the people over at Academic Support if you have questions or concerns about what would constitute a learning disability and might get you some special accommodations. I will not be accepting late assignments except in documented cases of emergency or in circumstances beyond your control. This is a case-by-case basis, so you really need to be in communication with me if something has gone awry in your life. I know that you all have very busy schedules, but I'm expecting that you will be turning things in on time. And if it's not something that is meeting these criteria of being sort of out of your control or an emergency, then I will not be awarding credit for late assignments. So make sure that you're giving yourself enough time to submit things, because sometimes, as you know, Blackboard can be finicky, Wi-Fi can be finicky. Make sure that you're not running up against the wire of a deadline. As is the case in all classes, I don't tolerate academic misconduct. This includes cheating, fabrication, plagiarism, interference, violation of course rules. If you're caught engaging in academic dishonesty, you will be dealt with according to college policy, and I reserve the right to fail any student for any form of academic dishonesty. And the last note is just to say that this is only an approximate schedule. It's subject to change. If anything changes, I will let you know ahead of time. Okay, so I'm going to let you look over this yourselves. I have posted for you just at the top here a suggested weekly plan. So the modules become available on Sunday. So you might spend Sunday, Monday, Tuesday looking over the course materials, and then to make sure that your discussion post is up by the end of the day Tuesday. And then maybe Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you're on the discussion board, you're finishing up reading or whatever you haven't done yet. You can work on your quiz. And then everything closes for that module at 5 p.m. on Saturday. So you can take a look at the topics that we'll cover in this class. The first couple of weeks will really focus on the sort of social factors that influence why people get sick or why people are healthy. And later on, we're going to talk about like what it means to be sick, how it feels to experience an illness, both mostly socially, like what is that experience like. We're going to have 1 week where we focus on the opioid epidemic, and then the last couple of weeks we will focus on healthcare more broadly and think about the work world of doctors, nurses, and other medical professionals, the healthcare system, and ethical issues in healthcare. And then the last page here is just the grading rubric for the discussion board. So I definitely recommend that you take the time to read through this, because this will explain to you how grades are determined and give you some tips for how to get a better grade if you're feeling like you need it. So that is the syllabus. Let's jump over to Blackboard really fast so that I can just give you a little tour of, let's go home here. Okay, so when you first log in, it'll take you right to the announcements page. You'll notice there's nothing here. I haven't made any announcements yet, but this way, anything that's new, I will be sure to post it here, and you'll see it first thing when you log into the course website. You'll see to the left that there's a link to the syllabus, which has been posted. This office hours and online meetings link will take you to what's called Blackboard Collaborate Ultra, and these are basically online meeting sessions. So I've set the first office hours session here. If you're interested, you'll have to wait until 7 p.m. on Wednesday, and this will open up 15 minutes early, and you can just click and enter, and then I will be sort of there in this quote-unquote room from 7 to 8. And then there's a class roster, and if you just change this to not blank and click go, it should show you everybody who's in the class. Not sure why emails aren't coming up, but you'll be able to get an idea of who else is in the class with you. Down here are the things that are required for the class. So here's the Padlet Wall. Right now it's just me with my post, but this is where you will introduce yourself to the class and tell us your name, your major, why you're taking the class, and some random fact about you. Post a picture so that I can see who you are. And then I will be able to get to know all of you. The weekly modules are posted here, so I'm seeing them all. You will not see them all. In fact, let me go into the student preview so that you can see what it will look like for you. Okay, so it takes us back to the home page. and come down to weekly modules, you can see that the first module is live. So this is just a description of what we're going to cover in this first module, really just an introduction to medical sociology. And you'll see all of the components of the module here. So the objectives, things that are due this week, including the Google Doc that will take you to the group assignments. And this is where you can tell me what your topics are. So you'll notice that the groups have already been assigned. I went ahead and did that randomly. I heard from a couple of you telling me what groups you wanted to be in. So by the end of this week, you'll need to just tell me what your topic is by writing it here in this document. So these are all the things you'll need to complete by the end of the week. These are the readings required for this week, and then also a video for you to watch. Under lectures, typically you'll see videos here and then PDFs for the lectures themselves. I have yet to add the videos. There were some technical difficulties, so I'm working on that, but hopefully by the time you watch this video, those will be posted as well. And then I'll always include additional resources for you, links to things that I mentioned in the lecture or other things I think that are relevant that might be of interest to you. And lastly, what you'll see is a link to the discussion board and the instructions for that discussion board. And then starting on Tuesdays, below this, you'll also see a link to take the quiz. So this is what every module will look like. Everything's here for you. And you'll have access to one module every week, and they'll stay open through the end of the term. So you'll see just additional modules being added. And they open Sunday morning at 12 a.m. Readings are posted under the readings menu, and this should be everything you need for the course, but I'll go through and double check that this is everything. And then the discussion board is here. So in addition to the module discussion posts, which you'll see towards the bottom, at the top there are 3 additional forums. One for questions and answers. So like I said, any questions you have that other people might benefit from knowing the answer to, you can post those here. Anything you notice where there's like a typo or some kind of error in the course, just let me know here and I'll fix it. And then if you come across anything while you're, like looking online, anything that's relevant to our class that you want to share with everybody, I love to see those examples. So it'd be great if you could post that in this discussion thread. And you never know when something like that might get you extra credit. So it's always a good idea to keep an eye out for how you can connect the class to things that you see every day. And that is the end of this tour of our Blackboard page and of the syllabus. So let me know if you have any questions, and best of luck with all of the things that you've got going on in week 1. See you later.